What is up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. This is my first unboxing of Monark for the PS5. It's also on the PS4 and the Switch. This is also my first impression after playing about an hour and a half of the game. So there's going to be some spoilers, not a lot. Mainly the unboxing itself will have enough spoilers to mainly give you 20% of the game. But regardless, this is my unboxing slash first impressions of Monarch. Stay tuned. So right off the bat, let me give you kind of a warning with this game. There's a lot of talking. Usually in a JRPG, when you pick the language selection, it's always Japanese. You never pick English. It's taboo. It's a curse. You just don't do it. I recommend you pick English for the language selection because you will be reading and reading and reading and reading. And if you have ADHD like I do, after the first three presses of the X button, you put on auto and you just forget about it, and then you forget half the story. That's kind of how this game is. From if you watch the trailers, from what you see in the trailers, where they make it all badass and it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to play, and all fast paced. It's not even that. Mainly, this game, at least the first hour and a half, which is what I played, the first chapter, half of it. I will continue playing it, finishing it, of course, but mainly you're literally reading a lot because that's basically what they're doing. They just keep talking and talking and talking. It's almost like one of those visual novel games where you're just literally just reading. The exploration isn't bad, of course. You get to run around the school, yay. Which I'll talk more about that as we're unboxing. Okay, so let's start off with the actual unboxing. Basically, um, I'll talk about the unboxing. Yeah, probably hop back and forth between unboxing and everything, so it'll kind of be out of order. But I'll unbox it, talk about the game, the gameplay, and then just hop back and forth. That way, it's not boring. It's just watching me unbox. But from the unboxing, you do get the game, and you do get collector's box, which is basically the big box. The artwork of Monarch. It's a hardcover book, very high quality. The It's a limited soundtrack, which kind of surprised me because you think to give you all the songs and everything, but it is what it is. The cloth poster looks really nice. I just wish there was something better. Quality wise, it's flimsy. I mean, it's a cloth poster, but it's not thick cloth or anything like that. So go figure. And the 5-piece acrylic stands. I've never been a fan of those, but yeah, it is what it is. Better than some stickers. So I guess, yay. They're high quality. They're thick. I mean, when I put them together, everything they're a pain in the butt. But the game, both PS5 and the Switch version. The Switch version I just bought extra at a GameStop to support my local GameStop here in town. But they're both deluxe editions. They both have samples of the songs. I did block the Switch's code just because a friend of mine wanted the code with the PS5. You guys can go ahead and download that if you get lucky. But they basically come with the art book, a small version of the hardcover one, and the samples of the songs. So yeah, it's $100. It's not bad. It's still available on the NIS site. That's where you have to order this, because anywhere else you can just order the deluxe edition of the game. But for $100, the game is 60. For $100, it's not bad. I mean, I was into acrylic stuff. It's not really bad, and I'm a sucker for soundtracks. So whenever I see that and it's physical, not digital soundtrack, it usually pulls me towards the collector's edition. And for $100, I mean, you get a lot for $100. So yeah, I recommend the actual collector's edition if you have the money for it. So yeah, guys, enjoy the collector's edition. So for the actual game itself, from what I saw in the trailers, I was excited to play this game. I mean, I pre-ordered it as soon as it came out on NIS's site. I even pre-ordered it for the Switch just because NIS, their games tend to go up in value once they stop making them. So I got excited to play it, but right off the bat, the game wasn't what I expected. There's honestly a lot of talking. Like I said earlier, choose the English voice option unless you can read you don't have ADHD like I do, where you can pay attention, because like I said, they talk a lot. And as they're talking, they're also explaining the game, well, explaining what's going on and everything. And in my case, I kind of just like zoned out, and next thing you know, what, 20 minutes has gone by and they're still talking. But in the beginning, you get to pick your name, which I kind of hate when they make you do that, but it is what it is. When you're talking, you actually get to pick your response out of two or three choices. So I kind of like that, which means usually when that happens, there's multiple endings. So that's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. So you always want the best ending. So maybe look up a tutorial. Honestly, you could probably look up a tutorial. The game's been out in Japan for a couple of years now, so yeah, we're basically just getting the port from Japan. So there's an actual wiki for this game. So if you want to get the best ending, if it is multiple endings, then look that up. But right off the bat, though, they have you take a questionnaire. It's called your ego analysis, and based off the seven deadly sins, basically. And it's about 15 questions. And personally, I answer truthfully to see what I would get. I kind of like doing that for most games when they ask questions like that. And I recommend you do the same thing because the result was surprising. But my ego type, like at the end, it basically shows you. Mine's happen to be lust. I don't know why, but mine ended up being lust. And what that usually does is you get to summon a fiend based off your ego. That's kind of like your slave. So, yeah, I don't know how I got lust though. So, for the actual game itself, it's not bad. So, it is an RPG, but it's more of a tactics RPG. And it's a strategizing one also. Well, actually, that's what tactic games are. But it's not bad. It's the amount of fighting in it. It's not like you go around and you fight. It's more of you go around your school, which is mainly what's based at, and you get a phone call. And the phone call is basically hell calling you, basically for a fight. And that's when the fighting sequence starts. Now, the cool thing is what they did with the phone, though. Later on, about maybe 10 minutes later, you can actually dial numbers on the phone, and you can actually basically grind doing that. So for every number that you dial, you can save it or not, but that's how you battle. You dial the number on the phone, or you get a phone call, and then it takes you to the battle. And if you're grinding, if you get a phone call, you can save that number. And the reason why I say you want to save that number is because if you're guessing numbers like I was, you'll end up with enemies that are like level 96, and it's one hit kill. I mean, you're level 2. So yeah, but that's kind of how the system is set up, which kind of sucks. I prefer running around and battling, not having to call. But when it comes to grinding, if you're just bored and just want to level up, which is what grinding is, you can literally just call and battle. And I guarantee you, if you look up for a guide, you can probably get the correct phone numbers for whatever level you want. Because like I said, if you just do randomly like I did, you'll end up with basically monsters that are 96, level 100 and level 96 like I did. But the phone is used very uniquely. I kind of find that interesting that they went down that route. But yeah, I was surprised that it was a tactics game though. Well, the few trailers that I saw, I just thought it was turn based and all that. But yeah, it's straight up tactics. Except for instead of having squares, you have a circle radius, and you basically move around that circle. You do, like I said, you get a fiend. So this actually kind of reminds me of Persona, because in Persona you basically capture demons. Here you make a deal with a demon, and if you play Persona 5, it reminds me of the Persona 5 mascot. But the way it works is you make a deal with the demon, you gain power. As simple as that. And the whole base is like the whole ideology of it is the bad guys, they make deals with demons, and the area, which in this case is the school, gets all misty, and everybody in the mist basically goes mad. It's called the mad gauge, which you can also go mad too. Which the mad gauge itself I kind of don't like, because if you get hit in battle or use a turn, your mad gauge goes up, and once you become mad, which it's 100%, after 3 turns you die, and if antagonist dies, the game is over. So I kind of don't like that they infused that in there, but that's kind of what the basis is. There's a mist. You go in the mist, and people inside the mist are crazy. Okay, so the whole setup for the game, though, you're stuck at school because there's a mist, and everybody in the mist has gone mad. So you're able to go into the mist and run around in it, but you have a certain amount of time, or I guess I'm gonna call it for every step or so. You gain a percent, and it's called the mad gauge. But while you're in the mist, people inside the mist are mad, and eventually they get even madder. But you're running around trying to find clues, almost like a puzzle. And then based off the puzzle, you find a stack of phones. And here's the phone thing again. And you basically press X, and the phones take you to hell, where you get to battle again. And that's basically how it is. While you're in the mist, there's no random battles or anything like that, which, like I said, I kind of wish there was. But the game is basically a visual novel, puzzle, RPG, tactics, explorer kind of thing. Um, it's honestly, it's not what I expected. I'm kind of disappointed. But then again, I want this is my first, analysis of it. Like I was only playing an hour and a half, and my first hour and a half was me literally just pressing X, reading everything. And like I said, there is a lot of reading in this thing. But my theory, and this is what I'm guessing from what I played, the mist happens when another person makes a deal with the devil or they're called monarchs in this case. And I'm guessing the mist is the area that the monarchs basically control, and in that area you get your wish. I'm guessing, and you'll see what I mean when you play the first chapter and you see the first bad guy. So that's what I'm guessing the mist is, but it makes people go crazy. You can go crazy. So that's really honestly all it is. A few things I do hate about this though, it's still buggy. How do I put this? If you guys played those old RPGs, I'm gonna say around the PS3 era, PS2 era, even, you know, like when your character has to walk and there's people blocking the way, or like one of your party members is blocking the way and you have to like push them to move. Like it's kind of like that. Keep in mind, I played this on the PS5, so I was expecting fast load times for everything. No, not even close. If you remember the PS2 or PS1, especially PS1 RPGs, where you'd go into an area or into town or into a building, whatever, any screen change, it go black and you're stuck waiting for a good 10-20 seconds, then it'd load up. Yeah, that's how this game did it. I don't know why they went down that route, but that's how they did it. So anytime you leave or enter a room, since you're in school, you're entering a room, it goes black and then it loads up, and then you play the room. And keep in mind, I played on the PlayStation 5, and I was waiting a good 5 to 10 seconds. It honestly felt like the PS1 era for me, and I hated that era. So I don't know why it's like that. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't utilize the PS5's SSD. I'm not sure. And honestly, if this is the PS5, because it's still gonna be fast on the PS5, I'm really curious how slow it's actually gonna be on the Switch or on the PS4, because they're using regular hard drives and all that. So I did hate that. Frame rate does drop here and there. I mean, so I don't know. It's first impressions. I hope it gets better. I hope story gets better. I mean, there's a lot to it, so I'm really hoping that story gets better. But so far, I'm kind of having doubts. One other thing that I hate about this is the way your character, you basically the way you give them attacks, like different kind of attacks and all that. You basically get souls, and then the souls you can use for your skill tree to power up your skill tree. Unfortunately, the souls are basically shared, so which I don't like. And on top of that, when I said grinding earlier, you basically want to grind because most battles give you 10 to 20 souls, nothing crazy. And most skills on the skill tree range between 10 and up. And if you have three characters, which honestly in the first chapter you will right away, well, within the first 5-10 minutes, you'll start off with two because you have your demon that you summon, aka Mind's Lust, which he also has a skill tree. Then you have your first character that joins your team, and she has a skill tree. So yeah, you're gonna be grinding a lot, I can tell you that. Now the cool thing is though, the little demon thing that you do have when you beat the bosses or when you beat the enemy, whichever one, you do get weapons and armor for it. So you can, in theory, just customize it however you want with the armors that you get. So no two will be alike, put it that way, if this game had it online, but I don't think it does. So yeah, I mean, so far, I'm not as excited about it. I kind of want to restart and just play it in English, which I honestly I'm going to switch to English when I do play. I'm probably going to switch it to English because, like I said, there's so much reading that I missed a few things. So, like I said, I might just switch over to English. and more than likely I'm probably gonna get Lust again as my person. I still don't know why, but yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, the game so far it's good. The developer, which I forgot, it's the same developer as Crystar. If you guys ever played Crystar, it's coming out actually at the end of March 2022. But it's the same developer as them. I'm gonna butcher the name. Fuyo Corporation. It's actually the same director also. Let me make sure. Fuyoki. I apologize. I'm gonna butcher the heck out of this. Fuyoki Hayashi. He's the director and producer. He also directed and produced Crystar, which I'm guessing the reason why Crystar is getting remade for the Switch version, because it's already on the PS4 in English, but actually coming out for the Switch also at the end of March 2022. I'm guessing the reason why is because this game did really good in Japan, hence why we're getting a port for it. So look forward to the Crystar one, by the way. That one's gonna be a lot better. So I beat that game on PS4. But yeah, that's my first impression. I'm hoping it looks better. It's PS4 graphics, which I mean I'm fine with it, and the change in fighting from regular RPGs to tactics RPGs for me, it's not a bad thing because I love RPGs. So I'm hoping it gets better, and maybe the switch to English will give me a better experience on it. Because like I said, there's a lot to read, so I suggest you have coffee with you. If you're gonna be reading a lot, you might fall asleep like I did twice. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, it's my first impressions. When I do beat the games, I do plan on beating it. I can make a review if you guys want me to. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, guys, let me know if you guys bought this game, and if you did, what do you think of it? Are you enjoying it? If you get past the first hour and a half like I did. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, the whole caboodle thing. See y'all soon.